As part of my welcome and part of our closing out activities for the school year is an opportunity to continue to model this connection between the community to the boardroom to the classroom, with the opportunity for each of the officers, the presidents of my advisories, the superintendent advisories over this past year, and what a year to be on the superintendent's advisory in any county in this country. But here in Henry County, we take so seriously the voices of our young people, our professionals, and our community members in order to inform the decisions we've had to make, and there sure has been a lot of them this past year. So it is my pleasure that I get to welcome each of the presidents of the advisories from this past year, starting with Tessa from Locust Grove Elementary School, the Elementary Student Advisory President. Tessa, you can approach the podium.
My time as the president. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. My name is Tessa Tutuwan, former president of the Advisory Council. My time as the president of the Superintendent Advisory Council for elementary schools has sadly come to an end. It has been the most exciting and fantastic experience being the president of the Advisory Council. The other members gave great ideas on ways to improve Henry County elementary schools. Some of the things we suggested as improvement include ways to prevent bullying, new learning styles, COVID-19 guidelines, and better technology. We also made recommendations regarding healthy lunches, rules to follow, and dress code. In one of our COVID-19 discussions, we talked about new rules such as bringing extra masks. In our new learning styles conversation, one of the members' ideas was to provide more hands-on activities and to make learning fun. We also talked about better technology for the remote learners, students, and staff. Being in the Superintendent Advisory Council has been a great learning experience, and I will miss it very much. Madam Superintendent, that concludes what I have prepared for you, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Tessa, and thank you for your service this past year. And I'm honored to ask Hannon from Impact Academy, our middle school student advisory president, to follow you. Of course, he's joining us remotely.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Madam Superintendent. I am Hannon Gerwin-Moss, the president of the Middle School Advisory Board to Dr. Davis. I am currently a 7th grade student at Impact Academy. This school year, the Middle School Advisory Board had 4 very productive meetings. We had a lot of great conversations that led us to have a greater understanding of the workings of the Board of Education, learning about true collaboration, and what I believe we were able to make a positive impact on our school community as a whole. We started this year discussing the goals and learning about E+6. We learned about what it would cover and how it would directly impact the students of Henry County Schools. Being a part of these conversations really gave us the opportunity to be ambassadors in a way and to help spread the word with our classmates as to the resources available to them. We discussed the code of conduct with Mr. McCreary and Mr. Lloyd, followed by a great conversation with Dr. Blanton about technology issues and concerns related to student privacy while using school technology. Finally, we discussed next school year's enhancements to the academies of Henry, celebrating the passing of E+6 and Cognia giving accreditation to Henry County Schools, along with the plan and work to get approximately 2,000 Henry County Schools employees vaccinated. As president of the advisory board, it has been a great learning experience. I was able to create agendas and surveys to engage our members and give them a voice, learn to lead meetings, and get somewhat comfortable with being videoed. I was able to shadow and able to learn some insight into the work that happens behind the scenes at Henry County Schools. At our last meeting, I was able to share with Dr. Davis a tribute video consolidating videos from some of our members, thanking her for the opportunity to serve in this capacity. I was also honored to have the opportunity to introduce Dr. Davis, the Board of Education, as well as the executive cabinet members to the Cognia accreditation team virtually. I would like to say thank you to Dr. Davis for giving us a voice and creating a space for our members to share their thoughts and experiences and feel like they were heard. Dr. Davis demonstrates the value she places in hearing from the students and shows a personal interest in all students and their successes. Dr. Davis and the Board of Education have shown true leadership through a global pandemic and demonstrated care for the safety and well-being of all staff and students. Being a part of the advisory board has given all of us an amazing opportunity to learn from Dr. Davis and her team to see firsthand what it takes for us to be a great leader and how to model those skills. I hope to work with you again soon. Have a great meeting, everyone. And Dr. Davis, that concludes what I have prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you, Hannon, and thanks for joining us virtually today from your remote classroom. And following you, Hannon, is the president of our high school advisory, and that is DeAndre. DeAndre, if you could approach the podium.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. My name is DeAndre Harris, and I have had the honor and pleasure of serving as the president of the Superintendent's High School Student Advisory. During this past year, I have had the opportunity of working alongside Dr. Davis, shadowing Dr. Blanton, collaborating with Dr. Knowlton, and attending and participating in each Henry County Schools board meeting. This experience has both enhanced my leadership skills and my desire for serving others. Over this past year, the Advisory Council has discussed a number of high-interest topics, such as graduation at the Atlanta Motor Speedway and how to best encourage all seniors to finish strong. This opportunity has not only taught me how to better serve others, but it has also exposed me to a diverse array of experiences and perspectives for which I am forever grateful. As I conclude, I wish to thank Dr. Davis, the members of the board, and the Henry County Schools stakeholders for this unique challenge and for entrusting me with the role of president of the Superintendent's High School Student Advisory. I truly hope I serve the Henry County Schools community and graduating class of 2021 well. Madam Superintendent, this concludes what I have prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, President DeAndre. And yes, we credit you for our Finish Strong, Last Lap motto that has become embodied by this entire community. Thank you to your advisory teammates. At this time, I'd love to invite our Elementary Teacher of the Year and Advisory President for the Elementary Teachers, Tabatha Wesley from Timber Ridge Elementary School.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. Okay. My name is Tabatha Wesley, and I'm currently the Instructional and Personalized Learning Lead Teacher at Timber Ridge Elementary. I also hold the title as the 2021 District Elementary Teacher of the Year and have recently been accepted into the Alliance of Teacher Leaders for fiscal year 2022. I've had the privilege and honor of serving as the chairperson for this year's Superintendent Elementary's Teacher Advisory Committee, consisting of all elementary teachers who hold the title as the 2021 Teacher of the Year. Please allow me to walk you through our journey in our pursuit of excellence. Our meetings with Superintendent Davis always begin with a pre-meeting. During this pre-meeting, I meet with the teachers of the year from every elementary school and listen to their campus concerns, their list of possible solutions, and of course, we celebrate their successes and shout-outs. I then create an agenda for Superintendent Davis and Dr. Knowlton to preview and vet as they work behind the scenes to call upon various departments to address our concerns and respond to our questions during our upcoming meetings. During our actual meeting with Superintendent Davis, I initiate the conversation by sharing our collegial dialogue that captures the essence of our pre-meeting. Dr. Davis is always ready to challenge our thinking and engage in collaborative decision-making and solutions. She defers to the spokesperson from different departments to provide clear and concise answers specific to the areas of their expertise. As members of the Teacher of the Year Advisory Committee, we leave every meeting feeling heard, appreciated, and empowered. We are able to see the fruit of our labor through specific examples that occurred during the brainstorming and decision-making that happens within and among the teacher advisory group. Affording teachers the additional day to plan each month is just one example for which our teachers are forever grateful. In summary, I'd like to thank Dr. Davis and our board for their forward-thinking and action-driven decision-making to ensure positive outcomes and success for all students. Madam Superintendent, that concludes what I prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Tabatha. A lot of robust conversations with that elementary advisory. You are a great president. Thank you for your time today. And I'd like to ask to follow you, Tabatha, one of our co-chairs of the Secondary Teacher Advisory and our Middle School Teacher of the Year, Melanie Kellum.
They didn't say which shade of green. I apologize. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Madam Superintendent. My name is Melanie Kellum. I am currently an 8th grade social studies teacher and social studies department chair at McDonough Middle School. A wise person once said, when you have a voice, you have an obligation to use that voice to empower others. This year, I believe it is safe to say that I and the teachers that I represented had a voice. But what is a voice without a listening ear? Thanks to the existence of the Superintendent's Teacher Advisory, the teachers of Henry County Schools not only had a voice, but in you, a listening ear. I felt like a rock star in my building the day after board meetings. Teachers running up to me, eager to be informed, eager to share ideas and possible solutions to challenges. Our quarterly advisory meetings focus on solutions, strategies, and quite honestly, what's best for our students. Teachers' voices and your listening ears molded an environment where teachers were able to innovate, create, and cultivate as education leaders during this unprecedented time in history. I especially enjoyed our discussions around re-engaging learners post-COVID and increasing advanced learning opportunities for all students in Henry County schools. The opportunity to unify classroom teachers across the district to ensure their voices are heard strengthens our ability to produce excellent results. I am extremely thankful for the opportunity to co-chair this year's Teacher Advisory. My hope is that our governance body continues to put words into action as we unify, ensure, and strengthen learning in Henry County schools. Thank you, Madam Superintendent. That concludes what I have prepared, and I turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Melanie. Melanie from McDonough Middle School, who was an exceptional co-chair of our Secondary Advisory. The only small disappointment is that was not in rap. Like, I know you provide most of your instruction, but I do thank you for your words of reflection on a great year of teacher collaboration. Thank you. And following Melanie is our Secondary Teacher Advisory co-chair, our High School and District Teacher of the Year, Mr. James Forsythe from Luella High School.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. My name is James Forsythe. I am an exceptional student education teacher at Luella High School and the district's Teacher of the Year. It would be difficult to put into words how valuable it has been for me to serve as co-chair on this year's Secondary Teachers Advisory Board. More than anything, my experience on the advisory board has shown me how invested we are in the educational experience of our students here in Henry County. I have been inspired by the dedication of Superintendent Davis to work together with myself and my colleagues to develop strategies and a plan of action to ensure that our students' needs are addressed and that they are receiving an exceptional learning experience. As an educator within Henry County Schools for over a decade, I can honestly say that this year has presented the greatest number of challenges. However, at the same time, I have never felt such support and reassurance that we are all in this together with a singular focus on the well-being and development of our students. Early on within the advisory board, we were encouraged to bring our questions and concerns as those on the front lines to our discussions and work towards creating solutions. Within the advisory board, questions concerning the difficulty of hybrid learning and planning for the instruction of both on-campus and remote students were brought forth. From this discussion, our Henry County board members were gracious enough to grant additional teacher workdays that led to more meaningful classroom experiences for both those remote and on-campus learners. Additionally, questions were posed within our discussions about ensuring teacher safety during the COVID-19 pandemic. Our desires for additional suppliers were heard and actions were taken to supply a new wave of personal protective equipment, including sanitizing wipes, face masks, and a $2,000 investment for each school to supplement safety, health, and wellness strategies. Finally, concerns of COVID-positive tests causing strain on schools to adequately and safely serve students were met with our board approving the usage of teams of certified and non-certified individuals who are willing to step in and fill the gap to ensure that no interruptions occurred in any facet of a school's day-to-day operations. 2020 to 2021 has certainly been challenging in my eyes, but what this year has taught me more than anything is the importance of leaning on each other and helping each other to overcome difficult times. The Teachers Advisory Board is just another example, and for that, I am forever grateful to be a part of it. Superintendent Davis, that includes what I prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, James. And as the co-chair of the Secondary Advisory, your one task was to be on social media. You've accomplished that, and we look forward to seeing lots more of your classroom as you've been modeled by your peers there. So it is now my pleasure to ask to follow you, our School Council Advisory President, the School Council Chair from Woodland Elementary School, Mr. Reeshard Scott.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. My name is Reeshard Scott, and I'm a proud parent and president of the Superintendent's School Council Parent Advisory. My experience as president of the Superintendent's Council has been eye-opening, to say the least. I have had the opportunity to work with Superintendent Davis and some of her cabinet members to see how critical decisions are made for the district with input and consideration from the community and stakeholders of this district. Meeting with other school council members and being afforded the opportunity to see various points of view has been rewarding. To me, I would liken it to a chess game. But not just a single chess game. It's like 5 chess games taking place at the same time. When one move is made, it affects the chessboards of all the other games. So simply put, these decisions being made are complicated and have lasting impact. Dr. Davis and her cabinet members have been a pleasure for me to work with. Everyone truly operated like my opinion really mattered. I remember preparing for a meeting with Dr. Davis, and as we were preparing, Dr. Davis asked, "So what do you think about that, Mr. Scott?" And I responded, "I like that, Dr. Davis." But I was really thinking, why is she asking me what I think when I'm just a parent of 2, and she's the superintendent of 40,000 students. I share that example to emphasize that input from the community was valued. It's been my honor to serve, and I look forward to continuing to work with Dr. Davis, fellow school council members, and Dr. Davis's cabinet members. Madam Superintendent, that concludes what I have prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. And being the president of our largest advisory with 52 school council chairs, you did a remarkable job organizing everyone's voice. Thank you. All right, and following Mr. Scott is the Principal Advisory Chair, Dr. Kesha Jones from Eagles Landing High School.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. I am Dr. Kesha Jones. Today, I stand before you as the proud principal of Eagles Landing High School and honored chair of the 2020-2021 Superintendent's Principal Advisory. As the chair, I was responsible for soliciting topics of interest from each of the other 11 members who represented the voices of elementary, middle, high, and special program administrators throughout the district. We collectively discussed topics that were of importance to you and us as individuals and leaders in Henry County. We brainstormed about what should we include in our back-to-school playbooks. We reflected on the impact COVID-19 had on us, both personally and professionally. We celebrated the resounding yes for East Block 6. And we were thankful for the laser focus of each of you to keep us moving forward as an organization during a pandemic. On behalf of the Superintendent's Principal Advisory, I say thank you. Thank you for creating an opportunity for us to be thought partners around high-impact matters. Thank you for listening. Finally, thank you for making a space for us to learn more about our district leaders, and the incredible work that is indeed happening from the boardroom to the classroom in Henry County Schools under your leadership. Madam Superintendent, this concludes what I have prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. Yes, incredible leadership in each one of our schools you represented this year. And following Dr. Jones is the president of the Staff Advisory, representing staff members in local schools and district offices, and that is Jeffrey St. Aime from the Instructional Technology Division.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Superintendent Davis. My name is Jeffrey St. Aime, and I serve as the chairperson for the Superintendent's Staff Advisory. Today, I stand before you as the culmination of an exceptional advisory team that represents the staff of Henry County Schools. I am honored to represent the staff advisory team in all our accomplishments. With this advisory board, my colleagues and I were able to navigate through the many items set forth before you these past few months. We're able also to celebrate with you the many successes that we experienced as a district, from a successful vaccination drive-through, the recent passage of East Block 6, into the completion of the board's compass with a new vision and mission statement to celebrate. To say this has been a learning experience is an understatement. Through this experience, and I believe I speak for the whole advisory team, we have learned of the hard work, dedication, and transparency that continues to be held in Henry County Schools and around the state, as our exceptional board was recently recognized as exemplary by the Georgia School Board of Association and as a finalist for Governance Team of the Year last year. The accountability metrics that are being drafted to hold our board, our superintendent, and all the way to our classroom accountable with expected outcome and measurable success for our student is also one of my favorite highlights. The team and I were thrilled to be a part of this process. We learned together, we grew together, and are now more informed and tuned in to the great work that is happening in our district. We want to thank Dr. Davis and the board for giving us a voice in such a distinguished pursuit. Madam Superintendent, this concludes what I have prepared, and I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And yes, you get the credit for the hardest questions and the most laughter led in an advisory. Thank you for that report. Madam Chair, as you can see, the purpose of our Superintendent's Advisory is to really build connectivity from our community to our boardroom to our classroom. Each one of these elected officers of the advisories were elected by their peers within the advisory, with every job family represented in one way or another, as well as every parent community.